Hello friends, and it's Funky Play Brothers, and please remember to subscribe to our YouTube. And today I'm reading the next part of Five Nights at Freddy's Tales from the Pizzaplex 7, Tiger Rock, by Scott Cawthon, Kelly Parr, and Adrian Wager. Last time when we left off, Kay was in the real world, and was being hunted by Tiger Rock, and he might not have left the simulation. Yes, it is, Todd said. Write a story about a food that comes to life. That could be stupider than what? Than that. What could be stupider than that? I think it's clever, Asher said. It's like those commercials where they give candy personalities and stuff. I'm going to write about corn. I think corn could have a great adventure. That's corny, Todd said. He snorted out a laugh so loud that several kids below them on the escalator turned around and gave him a look. He, as usual, was oblivious. Kay stepped onto the escalator last, and so he was looking over the top of his friends' heads as they rode downward. Trying to ignore their continued squabble, he gazed out in front of him, expecting to see the huge pan-aced window that dominated the front wall of the school. When Kay focused on the building's front wall, he did see the big window, but he also saw something else. Below the window, a new white clock had been installed. Kay frowned and focused on it. The white clock had a face, not just a clock face, but an actual face. The clock had two eyes, a round black nose, and a wide, toothy smile. It appeared to be made of metal, and the face was outlined in black. The eyes were designed to look like they were closed. They were mechanically dropped lids under feathery black lashes. When did they put that up? Kay asked himself. The escalator brought Kay closer and closer to the clock, but because he was going down, he had to tilt his head back to keep his gaze on it. Something about the clock was giving him the heebie-jeebies. Almost at the bottom of the escalator, Kay craned his neck to study the clock. Aware that Asher and Todd were stepping up the escalator, Kay prepared to follow them, and that's when the clock opened its eyes. But now Kay shouldn't have been thrown by the sight of one green and one blue eye, but he was. So much so that his leg went out from under him, and he stumbled as soon as Kay stumbled. The escalator stair teeth gripped the hem of his baggy pants. Kay's left pant leg was abruptly snatched up. His leg was jolted backward so violently that he fell forward, landing on his stomach flat. Kay hit his chin on the metal grating at the bottom of the escalator. For 3 long seconds, the escalator dragged Kay's leg away from him, as if the escalator and his leg were a wishbone and someone was trying to snap the V of the wishbone apart. Kay's groin and left hip joint caught fire. It felt like his leg was being torn away from him. He could feel the escalator pulling and pulling and pulling, and then the pulling stopped. The muscles in Kay's hip and groin were still straining, but at least the strain was now static, not increasing. Kay became aware of shouting, and he felt hands closing over his ankle. "Give me something to cut his pants," a man's voice called out. Kay blinked and looked around. He saw his tall, blurry history teacher, Mr. Harris, squatting next to him. Mr. Harris was bent over. Kay had a close-up view of Mr. Harris's curly brown hair. Beyond Mr. Harris, several kids were staring down at Kay. "Way to go, Klutz," a boy called out. It was Ron, one of the kids who liked to make fun of Kay's frizzy hair. "That's enough," Mr. Harris snapped. Ron shut up, but Kay could hear the kids murmured comments. How did you get yourself stuck on stairs? One girl asked. Kay felt the pressure on his leg let go. There, Mr. Harris said. Wait a second, Kay thought. Stairs? Kay felt Mr. Harris' warm fingers on the skin of his shin, above his sock. Kay pressed his lips together because the skin was tender. It felt burned. Kay looked past Mr. Harris, expecting to see the escalator's metal stairs. He blinked and rubbed his eyes. There was no escalator. Kay had fallen off the last two steps of a wooden staircase. The same wooden staircase he'd gone up and down hundreds of times. Kay frowned and looked at the last step of the staircase. It looked like one of the stairs' tread boards had come loose. Apparently, Kay's pant leg had gotten caught under it. Why had he thought he was on an escalator? It doesn't look like you're too injured. It doesn't look like you're injured too badly, Mr. Harris said. Well, let's get you to the nurse's office, just to make sure. Mr. Harris stood and bent over Kay. Do you think you can stand? Kay nodded. His groin and hip were still burning, and his shin was sore, but otherwise he felt okay. Physically, that is, mentally he was on edge of a total freakout. He hoped Mr. Harris couldn't tell that Kay was quivering so much that he had to clench his teeth to stop them from chattering. What's going on, and when would it stop? What was going on, and when would it stop? As soon as Kay got home, he went straight to his room and locked his door. After Mr. Harris had gotten Kay to the infirmary, Kay's parents had been called. His mom, just coming off her graveyard shift at the ER, had arrived within 15 minutes and had a brief discussion with the school nurse. You'll probably just have the mild groin pull, Kay's mom had said as she'd driven him home. Kay spent the entire evening in his room. He'd only unlocked his door 3 times. He opened the door when Malia got home from kindergarten and marched into his room with an armful of her friends, a collection of 5 plush animals. Malia insisted that Kay line up her toys on top of his dresser. They'll help you get better, Malia said. After she left, Kay locked his door again. An hour later, he unlocked the door so his dad could come in and say hi and check on him. I'm okay, Dad, Kay lied to his dad. I'm just sore and terrified, Kay thought. But he wasn't going to say that out loud. Kay wasn't sure he was hiding his fear all that well, though given that his dad commented on how pale Kay was and how on edge he appeared to be. I suppose that's normal after something like this, Dad said, patting Kay's knee. Just rest up. The 3rd time Kay opened the door was to let in his mom. She brought him a sandwich before she returned to the ER for another night shift. After that, when his parents or Malia knocked, Kay called that out that he was resting and wanted to be alone. Thankfully, they let him be. If only Kay's fears would be that cooperative. He was so scared that he was going to see some mental things with one green and one blue eye in his room that he was hesitant to keep his eyes open. After Kay ate, he stretched out on his bed, closed his eyes, and called Todd, who said he and Asher could come over and keep Kay company, but Kay said he was too tired. Not true, he wasn't tired at all, but he was so scared that he knew he couldn't hide it from his friends if they came over to hang out. Let's just talk on the phone, Kay said. Sure, Todd said. He then proceeded to entertain Kay with all the readings he'd done about stair-related accidents since Kay had gotten his leg caught. Over 1 million people a year are treated in the ERs for stair-related injuries, Todd told Kay. So you're not alone. Good to know, Kay said. After Kay got off the phone with his friends, he lay in bed with his eyes closed. He still wasn't tired, but what if he opened his eyes and something in his room was watching him, with one green and one blue eye? Unfortunately, Kay quickly got bored lying in bed with his eyes closed, so finally he picked up one of his handheld video games and kept his gaze squarely on its screen. That kept him safe until bedtime. Then Kay partly closed his eyes while he got ready for bed. He turned out the lights and lay in the dark, stiff and shivering. The next morning, Kay was startled awake by his dad's knock on the bedroom door. He couldn't believe that he'd managed to fall asleep. "How are you feeling?" Kay's dad called through the door. "I'm sore," Kay called back. "Maybe I should stay home from school today." Kay not only didn't want to face the kids at school, he also didn't want to leave the safety of his room. In his room, he hadn't encountered any of the mental things with Tiger Rock's eyes. "That's probably a good idea," his dad agreed. I can rearrange some things and stay home with you. We could play chess or watch a movie." Kay didn't want to come out of his room, not even to spend time with his dad. "It's okay," Kay said. "I'll be fine on my own." The previous year, Kay's parents had decreed that Kay was old enough and mature enough to stay home alone during the day. His parents still hired someone to stay with Kay and Malia if they were going to be late at night, but they let Kay hang out alone after school, and often they left him in charge of Malia during the day. "You sure, kiddo?" Kay's dad called out. "I'm sure," Kay shouted back. After Kay's dad said goodbye and told Kay to call if Kay needed anything, Malia shouted through the door, "Peter and Marge and Bubby and Fruckers and Slowpoke will take care of you. Tell them I said so." Kay looked over at the plush animals on his dresser. The black penguin Peter, gray mouse Marge, white teddy bear Bubby, red fox Fruckers, and tan sloth Slowpoke looked back at him blankly. They didn't look all that concerned about his well-being, but Kay knew Malia meant well. And that's where we'll stop. Tune in next time for the next part of Tiger Rock, where we might find out if Kay is still in a simulation. So, friends, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow us on social media. Support our vlog at cashapp and the Dogs Like Funky Play Brothers, so we can have more unboxings, more taste tests, more adventures, more monies, and more support. Thank you for watching. Bye.